Business news from the Capital Region. This is Washington Business Report with ABC7 national correspondent Rebecca Cooper.
Welcome to this week's fresh look at business and finance in the Washington region. This week, job numbers are rebounding, small businesses are hiring. We'll tell you how to hire the right person. And our roundtable discusses the president's latest claims about the economy and whether the numbers back him up. But first, he became a household name because of his popularity on the wildly popular TV reality show Top Chef. Then he decided to leave New York to come beef up DC's restaurant scene. Spike Mendelsohn is keeping the heat on, not only in the kitchen, but on the business side of the restaurant scene. His restaurants are staples in this region. Good Stuff Eatery, We the Pizza, and now Bernays, where I sat down with him one-on-one to find out whether his first foray into franchising in Chicago makes him a little nervous. Spike Mendelsohn, welcome to Washington Business Report. Washington claims you as our son, our native son, but you're not a native here. Tell me a little bit about your life and where you grew up.
I'm originally from Montreal. I have Canadian roots. That's where I kind of grew up. My family had, was in the business, the restaurant business, big Greek family, and all sorts of different facets of the, the restaurant scene in Montreal. And we actually moved to Spain when I was about 13, 14 years old. About 20 of our family members moved there for the World's Fair in Sevilla. So it was really great. It was an amazing exposition. It was one of the most successful ones that they had for a long time. And we had 6 different venues in the fair. So it was an amazing experience. We were there for about 3 years off and on. And instead of moving back to Montreal, we just moved to where my grandmother was living at the time, which was Florida. So that's how I got my start in the United States.
2 all-day small ones and 1 large.
Did they come looking for you for the competition, or did you go looking for them, or how did it work?
It was weird. My sister had been a fan of the show. I guess she had been watching Project Runway for a couple cycles already. And then the new show was introduced, Top Chef, on the same channel. And it was like an hour before or something like that. So she used to catch it. She was like, hey, there's this new really awesome competition reality show. And I'd watched the first season. There was a lot of drama, and I was one of the chefs that was like critiquing the show big time. I was like, oh, please, like I can do that, and like I'm not gonna go ruin my career on a reality show. I was like, I've trained with the best chefs in the world. Like, what am I gonna do? I want to earn my stripes. I want to get my 3 Michelin star restaurant. So I had this whole different philosophy about what my career was going to look like and where the business was going to go. And then I kind of started plateauing in my restaurant in New York, where I learned.
Were you bored?
I was bored. I had learned so much French food for years and years and years. You can always learn more, but I just had done so much so long. And then I did a slew of 3.5 years of Vietnamese food, which was awesome, exotic, and had kind of revived my career, and I still loved it. But then it gave me the opportunity to do something fun and different and something competitive. And I had been in the restaurant business since I was 13, since my parents' old place. So I just took a risk. I was very lighthearted. I had nothing to lose when I was first filming the show. So I was really 100% myself. Do you know what I mean? I was quirky.
So how do you think you were portrayed? What do you think the people who watch that show view you as personality?
I feel like I was like the villain that everyone loved. Do you know what I mean? Like.
And is that true in real life?
I think that's a little true. Like I got a little bad boy fun brand going on. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm real. So it was a great show. And the thing about the show is, like, you can go do well on it, but really it's all up to you after the show on how you can carry the brand, how you can represent, how much time you can devote to it. It'll get the people in the seats at your restaurant the first time. What's going to keep them?
Get up to our team, the salad, let's go. Salad, coming.
Top Chef kind of changed my life overnight.
So let's talk about that. You placed 6th place in the show. You're a big fan favorite. You're a media sensation. Then what happens?
You just roll with it. You start traveling the country. You get all these opportunities. My parents and my sister and I all decided to jump back into the restaurant business together, and we opened up Good Stuff Eatery in 2008. My parents had been retired, and they were all driving us a little nuts. So we were trying to convince them to get back into the business somehow, and they had done everything from fine dining to fast casual to fast food to whatever it was.
Did you think to yourself, Washington? The town known for bad food? I mean, now we're seen as a foodie town, but you took a chance on Washington. Were you thinking, No way.
I would have never, yes, I was thinking no way, because I was in the New York food scene, and like when you're a chef and you don't have all the celebrity that you have now with Top Chef and TV, like New York is the place you want to be. That's where you want to be seen.
And Washington wouldn't have been a top 10.
No, it wouldn't have been a top 10 at all. I mean, you had great guys like Jose Andres and Michel Richard kind of paving the way to get to the top 10, but in 2008 it was still very, very, pedestrian as far as that's concerned. So we're growing very slowly. We've made some mistakes. We've corrected them. We're still learning. So it'll be interesting. Chicago's our first city that we have to get on a flight and go to, and it's legitimately, far away. So that relationship is to be determined. I'm sure we're gonna have to work out kinks and adjust. But I think it's gonna be really great for our company to take this step with Chicago and do a franchise. And
do you envision being nationwide?
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, envision being international.
With 3 muscles.
So talk about being on Capitol Hill. People roll their eyes when they hear about Washington and Congress and Capitol Hill, and you're a famous foodie on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Do you have to try and succeed despite being in the middle of a place that is so maligned?
I love being in the middle of Washington government. It's added some value to our brand and to our concepts and to our lives that I didn't realize was there. So.
How so?
Well, one was like, being inspired by, young staffers and people that are here, they wake up every day to make a change. Because I wasn't, moving around so much, I didn't have a sense of community. And DC was actually the first time as an adult that I felt a sense of community and support.
Spike Mendelsohn making a difference in Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And when we return, our Small Business Spotlight focuses on hiring the right people, what traps to avoid, and what does your receptionist play as an important role? We'll find out when we come back.